Look at that. I take out my cards. Look what was facing me. Walking away. Okay. Lots of stuff happening. It's Aloha Friday. Yesterday I said, I don't know if you go back and listen, I said that more things could happen tomorrow, meaning today, because the sun was going to conjunct Mercury on the day of the new moon eclipse. And so, because the sun today is 3 degrees Leo, at the new moon eclipse on July 2nd, the sun was Mercury was 3 degrees Leo. Mercury rules contracts, negotiations, and a filing by the House Judiciary Chairman, Jerry Nadler, absolutely falls in that category. Okay, and so for this reading, this is what I want to look at. I was just seeing this, and this was pointed out to me. I think this is one of the cases in Appendix D of the Mueller report. So, at the hearing, Representative Mike Quigley was asking Mueller about Mike Pompeo's characterization of WikiLeaks as a hostile intelligence service. Do you think that is accurate? He asked. Absolutely, Mueller replied, and they got indicted. Mueller added. Factually, Mueller has not publicly indicted WikiLeaks, the organization. Mueller quickly corrected himself. Julian Assange. So, we are going to see if one of the cases in Appendix D is the United States of America versus WikiLeaks. That should be interesting, huh? So, universe. We want to know if one of the cases in Appendix D is the case of the United States versus WikiLeaks. Okay? Cut the deck. I don't feel right. Cut the deck. Try again. Oh gosh. Okay, I can't use this deck right now. This, it feels like it's out of order. Let's use the Golden Tarot. Okay. Let's try again. We want to know if one of the cases in Appendix D is against WikiLeaks, the United States of America versus WikiLeaks. Oh my goodness. Okay, cut my deck. What do we have on the bottom? Russia, Putin, King of Cups. I've said this before. WikiLeaks is hosted in Russia. Is WikiLeaks United States versus WikiLeaks? Is that in Appendix D? And what is going on? It is. It's the White House conspiring with WikiLeaks. The White House is the signifier with WikiLeaks. Think about that. Oh. Okay, brain, stay together. Stay in the brain. Stay. Let's finish. Oh my gosh. What's covering the White House with WikiLeaks? The Chariot. All the times people moved and transferred information with WikiLeaks. They were on the move. So who in the White House do we know has had contacts with WikiLeaks? Well, Don Jr., Ivanka, I think Eric has. I think all the kids have. And there's a lot of people in Congress. All these people with contacts to WikiLeaks. What's the challenge? The challenge is the Knight of Swords with this case. Knight of Swords. Oftentimes I see as intelligence agencies. This is Brad Park scale. Could be. You know what? Just a second. Okay, I almost thought I lost my master roster. Okay, so Knight of Swords. That comes up for me as intelligence agencies. It also includes Brad Park scale, the digital armies, troll farms. Okay, so the challenge with the White House, obviously, because they have their campaign working within there. So the challenge might be the cooperation that they're getting on that level from like a parse scale and others. What about Posobiec? That has to include Posobiec. I have him more as a page, but his job is the social media. I'm going to include Posobiec here. I think that Posobiec belongs there too. Okay, so this is a case of the United States of America versus WikiLeaks, but it's actually United States of America versus WikiLeaks and the White House. Okay, at the base of this is the Three of Cups. How they won the 2016 election. Oh my gosh. What's crowning this in their case against WikiLeaks? The Four of Cups. I've seen the Four of Cups as how these guys would implement an op and sit back and watch. But the Four of Cups, I believe, is Tad Devine. Anybody else? Yeah, because Tad Devine was involved with, Josh Sharetsky extorted Hillary's software. Her proprietary voter information. And I do have a video on that, and I'm going to remember to link this in the video so you guys can get a link right away to that reading. That the data got to Tad Devine and Paul Manafort worked on the Yanukovych campaign. Paul Manafort, somehow that data got to Russia. And today I'm going to show you that. I have to write this. Okay, I will do that because I'm going to include that screenshot in this reading. So in the past, here we go. What happens with WikiLeaks? Ten of Swords. That's Donald. That's his compromat. It's related to the burden that he's carried because this is the evidence, the intelligence they have on him from WikiLeaks. Yes, I've been grasping my horoscope all day today. Well, too much. Okay, wait a minute. You know what? Let me get this in order. I'm shaking, you guys. What's to come? Relax, relax, relax. The Fool. This has to be Donald. Is this going to be Don? I got a big yes, Donald. Is this... Because it's related to the White House. This, we know that Netanyahu's been involved with WikiLeaks. Yes, he has, but that's not him. This is going to be Donald, you guys. This happens to all these guys when they get caught, indicted or jailed or something. They just turn into a different card. Okay, how do we see this case of the United States versus WikiLeaks? We see it as being hidden, shoved out of the way, undercover, out of the public eye. It's just been completely separated from view through, obviously, the Mueller report. I keep hearing very binary. I don't know what that means, but just decisions all along the way. Very binary. One or the other, one or the other, one or the other. Wow. Keeping it simple. Okay, environment. Someone's going to walk away. Fool. Oh, man. What's the hope with this case? The data. All of the data that was exchanged and went in and out of WikiLeaks through that through the embassy. I am just getting an image of Grand Central Station, train station in New York, just how all this data was coming in on lines from all over the world and exchanged there at Grand Central Station, processed and then shoved back out. Whether data came out, either data or money was going in and out and in and out. The fear with this case is temperance. The fear of this case is that they won't be able to link the data because the data would switch forms so much, being able to track that and accounts and people and how it functioned. What's the ideal thing with this case? The Queen of Wands. That'll come out that about Hillary Clinton and her 2016 campaign, how WikiLeaks devastated and decimated her campaign through all that data and payments. Not only was she up against an information war, not only was she going against digital armies, she was fighting Russia's WikiLeaks, taking her stolen data on, and she still came out 3 million votes ahead of Trump. I mean, he just looks so much more illegitimate by the day. I mean, it's just really disgusting. What's to come? Oh, I almost want to cry tears of joy. Guilty. They're going to nail them all. They're all going to be nailed. We're coming to get you. Nailed. Goodbye. All of them. It works out in our favor. Oh my gosh. Wow. Look at all that laundered money. Okay. So if it all comes out, I'm not good with timing. We're in so many eclipse click dates. Where is my last? 10 of Swords. No, 8 of Cups. 8 days. Cups are days. I don't know. We'll see what happens in 8 days. I don't know if we're going to have a verdict by then, but I'm talking substantial information. So if today's the 26th, in 8 days, it's August 1st, and I've had August 2nd and 3rd on the calendar. Like, what's going on? Do I need any clarifiers here? I think we know who everybody is. I think we're complete here. This is amazing. Okay, thanks. Okay, here we are. This is a screenshot taken from Real Clear Politics, and they're polling data that they've been doing probably for about 10 years. It's really interesting as you see how these graphs become more and more refined over the years. I've been told that Real Clear Politics is a Steve Bannon website, so this is a perfect place to go when we look at data. And we're going to be looking at a lot of data, and it's going to kind of blow your mind. So if you look at this data, what we see here is, what we see here is a timeline that starts sometime in 2014, and it goes straight through the election. And as you will notice, the black lines are the favorability ratings. The red line indicates unfavorable. And so this is Hillary Clinton's data over the time that they were taking data on her. I do not know when she announced that she was going to run. I would assume sometime in 2014. Well, if you see, when they started taking data, her favorability rate was really high. It was in the mid 60 percentage points. And I'm just going to tell you, when you go back and look at like 2008, 2010, for a candidate just to go up or down 3 points maybe in favorability is a really huge deal, because their favorability is pretty homeostatic. It's within a certain range during the entire time. And look at the spread for favorability. It goes like from the mid 60s to a low of like mid 30s, 30-point swings. That is so unnatural, out of the norm compared to prior campaigns, whether they were Republican or Democrat, as recorded at Real Clear Politics. And so you'll notice the red line all the way to the left, how everything is like 30 points apart, the red and the black. Black is likability, red is unfavorability. Well, they start to get closer and closer and closer during the year 2014. Okay, so what do we know about 2014? Well, according to the Mueller report, that is when Russians came to the United States to kind of check out what was going on here, do their own research, go to various places and start to implant amongst Americans to survey the U.S., the landscape, the political landscape, and who their contacts were going to be and what they were going to do. And so notice that year 2014, Hillary had very high favorability. And during that time, they were testing of what was likable or unlikable about her. You can kind of see how things go up and down at the same rate, whether it's black or red. And then you'll notice in 2015, there's a blue circle where all of a sudden, her favor dives and the red increases. That's a pivotal date. That is Michael Schmidt when he published the New York Times editorial or article about her emails, because he got a tip about her emails. Well, that ended up being Jason Chaffetz, and then they coordinated that, and then that's when I think the email debate, or maybe when the hearing started for her. You will notice a blue dot, 1, 2, 3, 4 blue dots. Those 4 blue dots are critical dots. They are certain dates of certain events. There's the first dot. I want you to look at the second dot. That is the date. If you look at that second date, you see that the red systematically augments, the black systematically decreases, and they augment and decrease. They diverge at the same rate over the same amount of time, very subtly. Well, that second blue dot, that was the date that Josh Aretsky and 3 other Bernie staffers searched, downloaded, and extorted Hillary Clinton's proprietary voter data. And this pattern fits the same pattern of how they use information warfare and use polling to make adjustments on what is released out on social media, and then how media picks up these stories. And then they poll day by day, and they can measure whether or not their attacks are working. I know, let this one sink in. Okay, I think I need to go inside. I'm trying to enjoy the nice weather, but too many weird noises. March 23rd, 2015 was such a pivotal date because that is when that article came out. No, it came out at the beginning of March, but Michael Schmidt did not start tweeting about Hillary Clinton until March 23rd, 2015. And by then, so much damage had been done between March, in that first part of March. And you can see just what a devastating toll that was. And that's why Hillary never recovered from the email story. It just went on and on and on and on. So that was the first devastating blow, was the email story. And I 100% believe it was coordinated with Jason Chaffetz. I just saw that he met with the Saudis, I think, in 2015. I saw some tweets about the Oversight Committee questioning encryption warnings by the FBI. And when you go back in retrospect, you can see how actively Jason Chaffetz was taking Russian active measures and implementing them. And I always heard that he was forced to leave because of some sort of scandal. I thought it was back in Utah, but I would not be surprised if Jason Chaffetz is in this WikiLeaks versus USA or one of these cases that were sent off by Mueller. Also, in Jason's email account or Twitter account, he's erased all of his his tweets that he had about Hillary Clinton and her emails. All of them, but especially his tweets during that spring of 2015 are especially sparse. It's unbelievable. I'm so glad he's gone. Okay, so I am going to stop right there because this is enough information. I don't mean for your heads to explode with this information, but this is what we're getting into. This is how ugly, when you start look at polling and events and what was behind it in current events, it was all happened right in front of us. Hillary was not a bad candidate. She was going against bad actors in the United States, in the UAE, and Russia, and namely, her opponent. Okay, thanks you guys. I hope you like this one. It was juicy.